Good afternoon, and welcome to the Petrified Forest National Park, home of one of the largest concentrations of petrified wood in the world. My name is Nathan, and I'll be your tour guide today as we travel through the southern end of the park, exploring the Long Logs Trail, Agate Bridge, and the Crystal Forest. During the walking tour, I will do my best to share with you what this area was like 200 million years ago, how petrified wood forms, and why some of it is so colorful. Now, during our walking tour today, at any time, please feel free to ask questions, and of course, don't forget to take lots of pictures. With that being said, if there's no questions at this time, let's grab our water bottles and sunscreen and we'll head up to the trailhead. So here we are along the Long Logs Trail, and at this point some of you may have been wondering, well, where did all of these logs come from to become petrified? And to answer that question, you have to understand that these logs were petrified 220 million years ago during the Triassic period, when dinosaurs were still roaming this area as well. And this area wasn't always desolate, dry, arid desert like it is today. In fact, during the Triassic period, this is actually a tropical jungle. And there would not only be dinosaurs roaming the area, but also streams, lakes, ponds, marshes, and floodplains. Not to mention these trees that would be 200 feet tall. And when these trees fell and died, the streams would transport them throughout the area. This particular area has a rather high concentration of petrified logs, and it's speculated that this area was a floodplain and the logs jammed together here before making it to their final resting place. Although petrified wood is sought after mostly for its aesthetic beauty, it has served a few other purposes throughout the centuries. In fact, the Native Americans who inhabited the area often created cutting devices and arrowheads from these ancient stone trees. They even went so far as to create a structure which is now called the agate house from blocks of petrified wood. And in the 1920s, the original Painted Desert Inn was built, again using petrified wood as a building material. We're now at Agate Bridge, a 110-foot petrified log. I'd like to take this opportunity to explain just exactly how a log becomes petrified and preserved for us to see it millions of years later. So 220 million years ago, when this tree fell, it was transported down a stream to an ancient floodplain where the log sank to the bottom. On the bottom of that floodplain, the log was encapsulated by water and sediment that was rich in silica from nearby exploding volcanoes. Over time, that silica impregnated the log, replacing the cells of the log with silica, which eventually hardened and became quartz. And millions of years later, the powers of erosion once again came into play and removed underlying sediment, exposing this petrified log for us to see today. The petrification process results in a piece of wood that is significantly heavier and harder than a piece of living wood. In fact, 1 cubic foot of petrified wood weighs 168 pounds, while 1 cubic foot of living tree only weighs a few pounds. To put that into perspective, that would be a piece of petrified wood roughly the size of a basketball that weighs almost as much as I did. I have here an example of petrified wood as well as a piece of 2x4 cut to roughly the same size. And I'll pass these around so you can feel the difference in weight. One is significantly heavier than the other, and it's easy to tell. And like I said, in addition to making the wood significantly heavier, the petrification process also leaves a piece of wood that is extremely hard. In fact, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, petrified wood ranks in as a 7, while a living tree ranks in as only a 2 or a 3. And a piece of petrified wood, since it is essentially quartz, can also score glass just by dragging it across. And I'll pass this around as well, and you can feel free to make any marks on the mirror. We're now in the Crystal Forest area of the park, which offers some examples of beautifully colored petrified wood. The question is, why are these pieces of petrified wood so colorful? Surely the trees did not grow in colors such as blue, red, and purple. And the answer to that question is the same silica-heavy laden water that helped to petrify this wood in the first place was also transporting minerals such as manganese, cobalt, chromium, and iron. And the presence of those minerals is what helped form the colors in this petrified wood. Iron is the most common color, and you can see its presence here on the outer layer of this log, which created a nice orange and red tone. Manganese is responsible for creating more of a pink color, while carbon is responsible for creating the black color. This is a great piece of petrified wood here that shows a wide variety of colors throughout it. In addition to the many colors present in the rocks because of mineral deposits, crystals were also able to form in hollow cavities of the trees. Crystals such as purple amethyst and rose quartz. Unfortunately, not many of those crystals remain today because of early explorers that would go to such extreme measures as exploding these pieces of petrified wood with dynamite to collect the crystals out of them. This tree still looks very much like one you might find decomposing in the woods, but upon closer examination you can tell that it is indeed petrified and has completely turned to quartz. Alright, the final stop of our tour today is here at the Rainbow Forest Museum and Fred Harvey Gift Shop. Inside the museum you can go in and see exhibits that cover other aspects of the park, such as paleontology and the human presence in the area. And in the Fred Harvey Gift Shop you can purchase souvenirs including pieces of legally collected petrified wood. I'd like to thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope you found the tour both enjoyable and informative. I hope you have a better understanding of what the area was like 200 million years ago, exactly what petrified wood is and how it was formed, as well as why some pieces are so colorful. Again, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.